Good evening, everybody, and this is Tier 3 for the MRC. It's just gone 7 o'clock, which means we have another race to go here at COTA in Texas, in the United States of the Americas. Looking rather overcast for the qualifying session. No one's gone out on track just yet, but we've got an Aston Martin heading out, so that'll be a car we'll jump to as soon as we jump to it. I'm your lead commentator, BitW365, also known as Carl Edens. And in the commentary box with me tonight is Tier 4's Lego Man, Lego Lancer, also known as Morgan Pierce. Good evening.
Good evening, Carl. Cheers for having me on. Excited to see what these Tier 3 drivers have in store for us. Right, so we've got Drag King, Tie Clear, Drift Hawk, and Hive Eclipse on their outlet.
Yeah, Hive is the furthest round on track. He's currently going through turn 11, so he'll be the first one to get the session underway. I'm only expecting drivers to use the soft tyres in this qualifying session because the tyre wear here is, well, only way to put it, high, because either because of the high speed nature of some of these corners, but we'll go around a lap, all 20 corners, all 3.427 miles of the circuit of the Americas, with Hive in the Aston Martin. So as he comes around the final corner in number 20 to start his lap, DRS open, flat out. You can see the uphill rise right ahead of you for turn 1. I have heard there's about 25 different lines you can take here at turn 1 in COTA, and you don't lose time, but then you go back downhill for turn 2. And then you got the combinations of 3, 4 and 5, which is almost a replica of Maggots Beckett's, and then you got turn 6 and 7, and then 8, which is slightly uphill as well, and then turn 9 right on the exit. Little kink of turn 10, then it's slightly downhill as you head towards turn 11. Wide line for the apex. Careful on the power on the way out, and then it's flat out down the straight. DRS wide open as we race down towards turn 12. Hitting the braking point just right as we hit the apex for turn 12. Exited turn 12, very careful of track limits, and it's through turns 13 and 14. And then through 15, and then we've got the triple right-hander of 16, 17 and 18, where Max Verstappen overtook Kimi Räikkönen, was found to be off track limits when doing so, then through turn 19, and then through the final corner, turn 20, DRS open to the line, and it's a 34.855 to get this qualifying session underway. So Hive with a decent banker at the start of this qualifying session.
Yeah, a good banker lap to start things off. They'll be happy with that. Wonder who will be the next to join as Drag King goes fastest provisionally now.
Yeah, by over a second from Hive with a 33.742. Drift Hawk goes third with a 35.569, and Tie Clear with a 36.204. Sits P4, so we've got 4 times in at this stage. A few more to come through. Let's try and find, as we have JP with a 34.044 going second. Now I just want to get this off very early on. Due to Wookie not racing tonight, and we have Senna in the Alpine replacing him, the next nearest challenger for JP in the championship is Drag King in 4th, but he's on 81 points to JP on 123. So it does not matter where JP finishes, he is champion after tonight because of Wookie's absence, as Blank sets a 33.387 to take the provisional pole spot off of Drag King. And mentioning Senna, he does a 33.762, the tier 4 stand-in for the absent Wookie in the Alpine. So yeah, it is mathematically impossible for JP to be caught after this race with Wookie's absence. So pressure off shoulders on JP. He can pretty much just enjoy the evening and wait for the final checkered flag, as we have a few more times coming through. Winky 36.9, Genie with a 37.2, Triz 8, 34.6, Nels 34.2 in 7th. We jump to
Schmidt is just hitted. I think he's aborted his lap.
Schmidt, one of 3 higher tier drivers on the grid tonight, along with Airways and Redcar Rambo. All of those 3 being tier 2 drivers. As Simba's having a mare in the middle sector on his lap, the back end not wanting to comply. Simba in the Blingmobile tonight in the chrome version of the McLaren livery.
It does look good, that livery, doesn't it?
It's even better in the sunset.
Even better in a track where it's not meant to be.
Yeah, it must be brilliant under the lights though at night. As Simba with a 41.9, it was a bit of a scruffy end to the lap. Rear end was a bit twitchy in places. As we have Lethal, one of the other stand-ins. He is a tier 3 reserve. He's currently P4, a 34.016.
Got the FD Ross on a lap now as well.
So we'll jump to the Haas, which is currently down in 18th, set a lap time as he's coming through the first sector, towards the end of the first sector. 25.704 for the first sector.
Another very wide corner of turn 11 coming up. Similar to turn 1 in that sense, but you've got to kind of nail that apex as you push.
Yeah, you got to be cautious on the exit of turn 11 as well, because it's one of those corners that you can get track limits, just like the exit of turn 12, which Ross is coming up to right now. He's going to have a bit of a tow from the Sauber in front. The Sauber gets well out of the way. Nice and tidy. Easy to lose the back end through this section at COTA, keeping the rear well in check. Just the triple right-hander and the final 2 corners for Ross in the Haas. Let's see where he'll be in comparison to his teammate, who's currently sat P9, Ty Clear with the 35.3. His back end wanted to step out of the final corner, but well collected. He goes up to P11 with a 35.8, which puts him behind his teammate at this current moment. As we'll jump to JP, who's in 5th, but now on another flying lap attempt, going through turns 2 and 3. Got a few cars ahead of him up the road. Hopefully they won't hinder him too much. You can't miss the Sauber, especially with that bright green front end. It's like a warning light, especially when JP's at the wheel. Out of turn 11, McLaren gets well out of the way. DRS flap open on the Sauber. It's still blank on provisional pole with that 33.387. 3/10 up on his lap is JP, so it's going to be not quite near the quickest time so far by blank, but he can gain the time through this last section of corners. Plus track evolution is very big here at COTA, so expect times towards the end of the qualifying session to be a lot lower than what they are now. Is out the final corner, JP to the line, and it's a 33.616, puts him on the second row, just ahead of Drag King and just behind Lethal Strike.
Yeah, another very fast lap. Those top three are really bunched together. But then all about, well, the top five really. Very close together.
Yeah, the top five all under the 34 seconds.
Senna as well, tier 4 driver, doing very well to make his banker time competitive.
Yeah, we'll follow Senna around for a lap as he's just crossed the start-finish line. As he heads up the hill to turn 1.
The tier 4 driver, it does feel very weird to see Senna not in McLaren.
When you're reserving, it's whatever car you're given, but all respect to Senna for stepping up to tier 3 to fill a seat, and he's as Nels with a 33.2 puts the Scarlet Ferrari on provisional pole ahead of blank. So
that's an absolute screamer of a lap.
Yeah.
Faster.
It's Ferrari on pole, followed by Racing Bull at the moment, as we're following Senna at turn 12. Oh, bit of a twitch on the exit. Nice. Oh, bit of a drift there as well at turn 13.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he, typically because in tier 4 he's racing with traction control on, so this is now on medium and therefore, you know, he's just getting used to it a bit more.
Oh, just within track limits of the penultimate corner. He was millimetres from going over track limits. But he does a 33.2 putting the Alpine 4,000th quicker than Nels in the Ferrari.
My God, and I thought he was fast in tier 4.
He's took to tier 3 very, very well.
I'll expect him to see him in tier 3 next season.
Oh, as Hive takes it 32.8, I did say about track evolution, and the times are starting to come down. So it's now Hive's Aston Martin on provisional pole with that 32.8. Currently following blank in the middle sector. The early pole sitter now been shifted down to P4 after some phenomenal laps from a few drivers. But can blank take that pole position back? 2 corners left. But he's gone. He's aborted the lap, so he's probably had something gone wrong and he's not happy.
He hasn't got long to get out again though.
No, just over 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. As we have Triz in the Williams. Oh, just kept the back end in check out of turn 15. But the lap's invalidated though.
Hello everyone in YouTube chat. Honor, Mahmood, Shift God, Calvin, Harry, Lewis, Team Bison, Zen.
as we're going to follow Lethal Strike in the Mercedes, currently P7 33435. That Mercedes looking very planted in the first sector. My guess is most of the drivers will have a slightly higher downforce for the first and third sectors, because I do think it's better to have the car set up for the first and third sectors, because whatever time you get in the first and the third sector can make up all the time that you could probably lose on the straight between 11 and 12. We'll follow Winky in the second Ferrari. His teammate Nell's currently third. So I've got one Ferrari in the top 10 and one Ferrari in the bottom 10.
Lethal Strike just coming to the end of his lap now. He is, I didn't quite catch how much he's up, but I don't think he'll be.
Winky wanting to improve on a 36.7 as he comes round turn 11. You can get away with going over slight limits at turn 11. DRS open now as it's flat out towards turn 12.
DRS very wide open there, you need as much.
Fire J Rooster has retired. He's gone at turn, that looks like turn 6 for the second of the two Alpines. Winky keeping the back end in, check out of 15, just the triple right-hander. Airways has retired in the pits, is higher tier. 2 corners to go for Winky. Final corner for the Scarlet car. Back end really came out the final corner, but it's a 2/10 improvement. He goes to P14 with a 36.462.
Lethal Strike is about 3/10 up, coming in half a second up, going into sector 3 now.
Yeah, he's just about to come round turn 15.
It's nice, that set of corners. I said it on Monday. I like 17 and 18. Just that, being able to take it flat out, that long-ish right-hander. Not extremely flat out.
Yes.
Scenario, but
Lethal Strike, checker flag is out as Lethal Strike goes quickest with a 32.779. There is the benchmark. Now the flag has dropped.
They'll be very happy with that lap, but let's see.
Nels has pitted. He's not going to go any higher. Drifthawk has seen the flag. He stays in P12. But we're following third place currently. Oh yeah, Drag King.
He could be on for a good lap here.
We'll jump back to Senna, who was in the first sector. Drag King's on his way in the third. Ty Clear 9th, he's seen the checkered flag. Genie 15th, he's seen the flag. Ross 11th has now seen the checkered flag as well.
King coming around the final corner now.
All bit of a moment with the rear end. A 33.2. P4 for the Williams as we'll drop down to the the back. Larry moment for the rear end of Senna, trying to be careful on acceleration.
He's on a fast lap too. He's only just marginally beating his previous. I don't think we'll see much.
Senna's going to see the line, see the flag, but he's not going to improve at all. He had a moment at the end of that. Triz stays 7th by the looks of it. There's only one car left to see the flag, and that'll be Winky.
I think he had a moment somewhere.
Yeah, he's laps invalidated. So, with his last run of the session, it is Lethal Strike in the Mercedes On pole is an all Mercedes engine front row with the Aston Martin of Hive in second. That's your front row.
Of a lap. Came out of nowhere.
Evening to everybody in the YouTube chat. We'll run through the grid order as soon as it comes up. But it's an all Mercedes engine front row lockout.
We've done very well without the line blank. Very well to put it up there.
So we'll have the grid for you here. It is Lethal Strike on pole with Hive in second, Blank third, then it's Dragkin in fourth, Senna will be starting fifth, then Nels, Triz will be seventh, Championship leader JP in eighth, Stoob in ninth, Ty Clear will round out the top 10. Ross in 11th, Redcar on the mediums, the high tier driver in P12. Drifthawk 13th, Winky will be starting 14th, then it's Gene Genie 15th, Simba 16th, Fire J in 17th, Airways 18th, Smith 19th, and Brindle starting right at the back in 20th position.
May I just add, there's 32 people watching the live stream at the moment. We're only on 7 likes. Can we maybe get to 15?
Can we just...
Oh, it's raining.
Ooh! Get your raincoats out and put your umbrellas up. To be honest, we could do with that rain. We could do with some rain over in England at the moment because it's been an absolute sweatbox of a day. Won't mind a bit of rain in real life. But yeah, this really does make things interesting.
Yeah, I haven't been round Coast before.
I'm with Martin. I'm with Martin on this one. I do like a wet race. A wet race can really turn things on its head. 31 degrees in North Wales. Wow.
How hot was it here today? 23 degrees. Not too bad here, but...
It reached about 29, 30 here.
Yeah, I think it might be hot tomorrow for me. Isn't great because I'm going to be sat in a car all day.
But yeah, we've got currently sat in a 5-minute interval between qualifying and race to allow drivers to have a quick break and think about strategy. But I don't think we're going to have too much worries in wondering what tyre they're going to be starting on for this one, because it's one of two. It's going to be either the Greenwald Intermediate or the bright blue full wet.
It's got to the point now where you'll only see the wet tyres on the F1 game now. You won't see it in real life anymore.
Nah, the wet tyres are pretty much obsolete, as you were referring to there in real life. Because even when the rain is so heavy, the drivers will still resort to the intermediates. But as we saw in Brazil, I believe it was last year, as soon as the track got to full wet conditions, the safety car comes out.
Yeah, if you ever feel useless in life, just remember that the wet tyres exist.
That's one way to put it.
I can't claim credit for that. I've got to give that to Podgy, because he did post that in the Discord one time.
But yeah, 28 laps to come around COTA for Tier 3. A soggy start, or as a lot of my fellow commentators would say towards myself, it's a soggy one for the soggy biscuit.
A fun start.
Oh yeah, it's going to make the start very interesting. 28 laps of the... Will it be 28 laps of this, or will we get a dry period at any sort? Is it going to be rain all the way through, or will it clear up towards the end? If any of the
watching the stream and they can see
if any of the drivers could let us know,
That is damn right, Martin. Damn right. And it won't just be Carl.
I won't be too sure, Martin, because I'm happy in my little cave, in my little corner. Thank you.
Wouldn't you like to see the sun, though, considering it's so hot inside right now?
I'm allergic to sunlight.
All right, vampire.
Steady on. Yeah. Each driver, as long as you see the flag at the end of this one, will be travelling a total distance of 95.817 miles, which is the total length they'll be running, and we'll soon have the formation lap starting. Here we go. It looks to be full wets.
Oh, some mix of inters and wets, though.
Oh, yeah, so we'll quickly have a look. Let's get the tyres up to have a look. Yeah, it's quite 90 odd % of the grid have thought, yeah, we'll give the wet tyres a showing. We'll let them out the cupboard and dust them off. But a select few drivers have decided to risk the start on the inters. So you've got Hive on the front row, you've got Senna in 5th, JP in 8th, and Drifthawk in 13th on the inters. So
Why is Hive currently running first in track position?
Probably he's letting Lethal back through, but if I'm correct in real life, I think it was either 94, no, it was 1994, I believe it was.
Showing your age now.
That's the year I was born. They had 2 formation laps that year at Silverstone because they had to redo a second formation lap, and Michael Schumacher overtook Damon Hill on both formation laps. So if I'm correct, he got some kind of penalty or possibly even disqualified for overtaking not once but twice on the formation lap, if my encyclopedia is correct. As we wait for the drivers to line up, you can see the deep grooves on the full wet tyre on the Mercedes and the slightly shallower grooved intermediates on the Aston Martin, as Hive has slightly gone over his grid position. So it's going to be interesting with Lethal on full wets and Hive on the intermediates to see who will get that better start as we wait for the 5 red lights to get us underway here in COTA. A soggy wet America to get us underway. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And it's lights out at COTA. People fighting for traction in the wet conditions as we have a Williams that has gone into the wall early on. But it does look to be like the full wets are the best tyre at the moment, because Hive has dropped all the way down to P4. Struggling to get the traction on those inters off the line. But it is Lethal that holds the lead with Blank in 2nd. Then it's Drag King in 3rd. Hive has dropped from 2nd to 4th from the start. He's got his fellow inter-runner of JP behind him in P5. Senna 6th, fighting the rear, trying to find the grip on those inters as well. Really struggling with the rear end. The inters are struggling for grip out of corners as we have a virtual safety car. We've only just made it about halfway round and we have a virtual safety car and a 10 seconds for Simba for a severe collision with Drifthawk.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there. But all also, I feel as if those Inters, they might not be as good for the traction at the moment, but they probably will be better once a dry line starts to form because they're just going to have that extra pace.
My guess is it's that wet that they can't get the heat in the Inters to get them to work, because you could see when we're following Senna on that opening lap how much he was fighting for traction that rear end. The rear end was just wiggling all over the place trying to find traction out of corners. As we have...
Start for JP, as Zen said in chat, he's moved up. How many places has he moved up? He's moved up 3 places just from the start.
Yeah.
And he's on the Inter tyres, so he's clearly had a very good start.
Got to stick to a delta whilst under the virtual safety car. We have no idea when it's going to end until it comes up. As we are green flag again. A few drivers coming into the pit, Simba for damage repairs, and also the higher tier drivers of Airways and Smith have also pitted at the end of the opening lap. And also Triz is in as well, so I wonder if Triz has picked up damage on that opening lap.
Yeah, he was the Williams that rammed into the wall right on the race start.
Ah, so that was Triz that had a moment off the line, struggling to get traction as they got off the starting blocks. His teammate Drag King in third has just dropped over a second off of Blank. Lethal Strike, though, since the green flag has dropped to get full racing back underway, is up to 1.2 seconds, 1.4 ahead of Blank, Hive and JP. On the Inters...
Lethal Strike sat rather comfortably. Just that gap that he's pulled already. He's on the... They're both on the wet tyres, Lethal and Blank. But Lethal's just managed to get that heat into those tyres, had a better start, as Drag King struggling to find the heat in the tyres.
Hive getting a bit sideways has allowed JP to show a nose on the inside. The top 3 on the wet tyres, the next 3, Hive, JP and Senna, are on the intermediates. So those 3 holding on relatively well in this early stages. As Lethal Strike sets a 55.9 for the fastest lap, that gap has slightly creeped up to 1.8. But Drag King is now looking to put Blank under a bit of pressure. He's 7 tenths now. And with him right behind Blank, getting the dirty air off of that racing bull, it's allowing the inter-runners of Hive and JP to slowly get a little bit closer. Not that close with the difference in grip between the tyres, but as the racing round, it's shifting water, which will eventually slowly bring it to the likes of Hive, JP and Senna. They're playing the long game. They're having to brave this early stages of this race. It is 2.1 seconds out front for Lethal Strike now. He has found a very lethal rhythm out front to open up a nice comfortable gap.
That's the pun intended
there. Moving on. As we have a yellow flag for an Aston Martin, that is Airways, I believe, having a bit of a moment in Sector 2 between turns 10 and 11. As JP has got the move done on Hive. JP has got past the Aston Martin, and you can hear the revs of the Sauber just then as he's fighting for grip on the intermediates. You can see a dry line slowly forming in certain areas of the track. The racing line getting a little bit darker and easier to see as Lethal Strike has brought down the fastest lap to a 54.210. as Hive has moved over to have a little clearer view of what's going off ahead, as Ross is in from P8 in the Haas.
Yeah, I think that S's section, which is normally quite technical even in the dry, is even harder in the wet because you've really got no like space to judge your braking on. You just kind of have to hope that you're braking the right place and not losing too much time.
It does look like the inter's starting to come into effect now, because JP is now right under the rear wing of Drag King as he's gone down the inside of turn 11. It's going to be a traction game on the exit. Both of them just about with even traction. It's going to be side by side, a drag race between Drag King and JP down towards turn 11. Who's going to get the... Drag King has the inside. JP looking for a tighter line. Drag King struggling for traction, which has allowed JP to almost make the move. He's going to be keeping it tighter on the inside, but then Drag King will have the inside on the way back through. Bit of contact, but it looks like Drag King holds on.
The clip's not too far behind either. He'll be looking to capitalise from this battle going on here. There's a little train going on.
But with Drag King having to defend from JP, it has allowed Blank to open up as the times come down again. 53.9 by Lethal Strike. So the lap times
very fast at the moment. Very fast.
Lap times slowly coming down, so we might be looking at... Oh, Hive just behind JP there, having a bit of a moment on traction out of turn 1. Fire J has pitted. I wonder if a few drivers are wondering about switching to Inters, because it does look like the Inters are slowly coming into play.
Yeah, JP really is reeling, dragging in now on every single high-speed corner and slow-speed corner. JP's just all over the back of him.
Is he going to have a look? He's going to have a look on the inside of turn 11 again. He is. It's not going to be a drag race this time, as it looks like JP has got the move done this time. Drag King will hook under the rear wing of the Sauber to try and get a tow, try and get alongside. JP makes one move in defence, and that is third place for JP. Drag King fighting for grip out of turn 12. Ooh, that looks a bit tight behind. That is Drag King and Hive. Williams versus Aston Martin.
I believe there's no damage, but there was a bit of contact from front wing to side pod.
Yep. But it does look like the Inters seem to be the tyre at the moment, because now that JP has got past Drag King, he's opened up a 1.5 second gap as Lethal Strike has brought the... there we go, it's 53.3 for JP. The first fastest lap set by the intermediate, so I believe we're very, very close to the crossover.
Lethal Strike's going to be feeling pretty worried now. He's going to be like, when am I going to pit now? Because he's seen that the inter tyres are definitely faster, but it's probably too early to pit.
Stube and Red Car have both pitted, as we're currently following the battle for 4th and 5th. Drag King in 4th, Hive in 5th, Williams versus Aston Martin, Mercedes Power versus Mercedes Power. Hive gets a bit wide though, which has allowed Drag King to get a bit of breathing space, and just behind in the Alpine is Senna. He is now coming into play.
Yeah,
quite a steady race. You can see the line a lot clearer now on track. the amount of water that's been dispersed by the cars going round in these last 6 laps. As we're on board with the, you can see Senna fighting the rear end as he's all over the back. You can see the Aston Martin in front and then the Williams just behind. You can see Drag King's Williams twitching in the rear. We're going to jump further up though, because now JP is slowly within striking distance of Blank, as JP sets another fastest lap. We're into the 52s now.
He's really reeling in Blank now. There was a massive gap between them, but now he's reeling him in, and he's going to be chasing after Lethal Strike soon.
Track conditions improving, and you can tell by the lap times. Those that are on the full wets will probably try and hang it out, but there will be a point where they'll start to overheat. Genie in from P10. As we've got the battle for second and third. JP in third, attacking the Racing Bull of Blank in P2. Blank not allowing JP to have a look on the inside of turn 11.
You're probably better than the Ferrari strategist, Lewis.
As Ross has got 3 seconds. JP going for a move on the inside of turn 12. And will he make it stick? He does. That is JP now up to second. The Inter's in full effect. So that is now JP up into second place. And all that he's got in front of him is a wet, tired Mercedes. Lethal Strike has had it cool and calm out front for the last couple laps, but now it looks to be like he's going to be coming under pressure.
Yeah, he's already reeled in about a second worth of time.
A 51.077 by JP.
Very fast today, very fast.
Nels is in from P7.
We've seen that switch from wets to inters now. Before most were on the wets, but now people have realised inters are definitely the better tyre at the moment.
Yeah, because the inters of Hive and Senna have now allowed them to get past Drag King. He now finds himself down in 6th. Senna now up to 5th. Hive up to 4th. And that gap slowly coming down between 1st and 2nd. You can definitely tell that the full wet tyres are not the tyre to be on right now. As you can see, Lethal Strike moving over to the wet line to probably cool those full wet tyres down, because they'll be feeling the effect of the less water on track. But now that Mercedes definitely looks like a wounded animal in the eyes of JP.
Yeah, they were... Lethal Strike was about 3 seconds ahead, but JP just has so much pace.
That's the grip of the Inters towards compared to the full wets at this stage.
He nearly goes flying into the back of him. He has
Yeah,
so
he's
much pace.
pretty much as Lethal Strike does dive in. I believe that's the Mercedes ducking in for a set of intermediates. 49.6 for JP as he leads for the first time this evening, as Blank is also in. So that's 2 of the front runners on the full wets.
Whoever made that strategy call to start on the inters, well done, well done. You've clearly made the right decision.
Lethal Strike comes out on a fresh set of inters. He's only lost 2 places. Comes out in P4. But he does find himself 10 seconds behind Senna, but I believe that gap will drop now because those that have just gone for the intermediates at this time will have a lot more rubber on those inters, but they will have to try and get them warm enough to work, whereas the front three, for example, that have been on the inters since the very start of the race, those tyres will be warm, working and kicking in full gear.
Yeah, JP's just pulling his tyres down on the wet line there. He's had all that pace, but he is going to start feeling that tyre degradation now. The Inters were definitely the right tyre, but 8 laps is still quite a lot of laps on this set, and so he's going to be feeling it soon.
As Blank drags Drift Hawk, Blank getting the move done at turn 12. So Drift Hawk in the Mercedes down to P6, Blank up to P5. As a 49.3 from JP out front, he's in cruise control now, he's in clean air.
I've Eclipse has gone fastest now, over the 1:49.0.
Let's drop down to see, we've got a couple battles going on. But due to the wet track, we have no DRS, so all the overtakes are having to be done the old-fashioned way. Timing, skill, and no assistance on straight line speed. You've got to hook the car underneath the car in front. Try and get the toe as the best you can with the better exit. It's all got to be done the old school way. As we're watching.
Nice to be back on a track where people can actually overtake for once. You know, we've been at tracks where it's quite hard to overtake, like Hungary and Monaco. But this is like bliss.
Yeah, you can overtake here, but there's only a few like overtaking opportunities. I mean, obviously the biggest one is from turn 11 to turn 12, that long DRS zone, and obviously from turn 20 to turn 1, especially with the uphill braking, which allows the drivers to brake a lot later than most because of having the assistance of the steep incline. As JP brings the fastest lap now down to a 48.2.
Prix now the only driver to be on the wet tyres. Wondering if that's because he pitted so early because he got that front wing damage. He felt as if it was too early to change them, even though...
Oh, lethal strike with a 47.8 on those fresh intermediates.
Yeah, he's going to have that tyre advantage now. He's a bit further behind.
But he's going to have a massive tyre offset in his favour.
The top 3 still all need to pit at some point. Lethal strike, only 2 laps on those. So he's in the clear for a bit now.
Yeah, it's looking quite...
And he's got the clean air.
Yeah, which is going to help him big time. Clean air, fresh tyres. A much grippier tyre as well. Nice and smooth by Lethal through turn 11. The pack is very, very spread out, which tends to be a bit of a downer for wet races because obviously you got those that aren't 100% comfortable and then you got those that thrive in it. Although we do have Nels right under the rear wing of Drag Kings Williams. Ferrari versus Williams down towards turn 12. Ferrari alongside has the inside for turn 12. Drag King trying to hang it round the outside for the inside of turn 13. Nels thought about the up and under, but not quite able to pull it off. So Drag King holds firm on that 7th place. The only other scrap we've got further down the grid is, looking at the timing page, is Triz and Winky for 16th and 17th, but we'll stick with this one for the time being, unless any of those front runners can bring those gaps down. As again, Nels, the Ferrari, trying to get that brakes earlier for a tighter line. Oh, Drag King almost lost the Williams, not once but twice under traction on the exit, but still able to hold on to that 7th place. Now it's going to be single file through the S's of Sector 1. You just got to follow the car in front.
Yeah, everyone on the Inters now besides Triz. Done 10 laps on those Wex now. I'm starting to wonder what he's exactly trying to do.
That was an audacious move by Nels. He's just gone around the outside of Drag King's Williams at turn 9. Or was it turn... I think it was turn 10, sorry. Turn 9 or turn 10, one of the two. But it was... He had a great run. But now Drag King looking to drag himself back through. He's on the inside. Nels are defending.
I swear you don't even mean it half the time.
I'm just having fun. Oh, Drag King having a moment. Almost went into the side. Oh, lethal strike now. 47.3, but blank with a 47.2. Track conditions are improving every single lap. But we're going to stick with this battle between 7th and 8th, which has now got the Ferrari of Nels ahead of the Williams of Drag King. But with these two scrapping, it's allowing the Aston Martin of Airways to slowly and slowly crawl up behind them.
Drag King takes a lot of apex there, whereas Nels pushes it very, very wide. Miracle that Nels has managed to keep it that far ahead, to be honest. As it becomes a lot, he gets 3 seconds.
Oh, Drag King through the S's, 3 seconds.
I was just gonna say it's starting to get less like technical through there. You take it more flat out. But then as soon as I was about to say that, he takes too much curb and gets penalty.
It's so easy to through the S's because all it takes is the very slightest of early turning or wide line, which jeopardises your line. Ooh, Drag King getting a bit twitchy again after turn 11. He's really struggling to keep that rear end in check on acceleration in the low speed corners.
He's got those newer tyres as well.
These are the only two cars on track that are scrapping it out, as Senna's in on lap 14. That'll be for a fresh set of intermediates. As Lethal Strike with a 47.0 as Blank. Lethal Strike and Blank trading fastest laps now, the last 2 laps. Blank saying anything you can do, I can do better. But Senna, Drift Hawks in as well for a fresh set of inters. But we'll jump to the Alpine of Senna that comes out comfortably in P5 on a brand new set of intermediate tyres. We are at the halfway stage now, which is usually the case where people that have been on the inters tend to pit, because unlike earlier games where you could go from lights to flag on one set of intermediates, not so much these days. But Senna, first of the front runners that started on the intermediates to come in.
Yeah, I'm wondering now, what lap will JP and Hive Eclipse pit? Because they're still very fast, but they are going to start feeling that tyre deck soon.
Well, JP now ahead of the two McLarens that are running round towards the back. Simba and Smith in 19th and 20th. It's not a day to remember for McLaren. We normally see that colour of papaya at the front in real life, but in the virtual world...
It's a bad day for a McLaren fan.
JP, another lap, stays on the Inters. So he's done 15 laps now, on 14, 15 laps on those Inters now. Hive also has carried on. Lethal Strike, who's been on those Inters for a number of laps now, but a lot fresher. Gaps down to under 5 seconds, there or thereabouts, yeah, under 5 seconds now between Hive and Lethal Strike. The gap's stable out front now, but I believe it's slowly creeping up, with JP looking to be the more comfortable even in the clean air. As Airways is in. Triz. Ross with another 3 seconds. We'll have a look at penalties at some point. Penalties will come into factor more if there's a late safety car. Because usually a late safety car, you've got very little laps to open up a gap, especially when you've been bunched up. So keep the track limit penalties to a minimum, as Nell's having a bit of a moment. A beautiful overhead view from the helicopter as we head to turn 11.
Oh yeah, I was about to say Triz might be waiting for a safety car, but he's dived into the pits now. So.
Yeah, he's finally come in.
Oh, there's a bit of contact between Winky and Ross.
Also, we'll drop down.
I think that it was between some, yeah.
There's no damage on the Ferrari, and there doesn't seem to...
Oh, it's between Bean, Genie and Ty Clear, I think. Oh no, FiJ was... Either way, Genie's lost his end plate, but...
Yeah, Genie missing an end plate on that right-hand side. As JP and Hive have pitted.
I've gone on the wets. Did they forecast more heavy rain? Or has he just accidentally been put on the wets?
Does Hive know something that nobody else does? Because the rain is a lot lighter than it was at the start of the race, because it was quite heavy at the start. It's a lot lighter now as we're in the second phase of the Grand Prix.
Do the Aston Martin engineers know something that nobody else does? Are they going to do their best "we're not Ferrari" impression?
Keep an eye out on that one. In the meantime, JP on a fresh set of Inters is already on the back of the Racing Bull of Blank. As I said during qualifying, due to Wookie's absence, it does not matter where JP finishes. He will be champion at the end of this one. Drifthawk with 3 seconds.
Apart from bragging rights, of course.
Oh, he's gone for the under. He's gone underneath Blank and has made the move stick. So that's
There's
JP.
A bit of wheel banging, but I think that was fine.
So that's JP back up into second place. He's got around about 5 seconds less to Lethal Strike. He's going to have much fresher tyres now at this stage, though. So it's all swung back into JP's hands. With the fresh intermediates, he will be going to the end. And I believe Lethal Strike will try and take those Inters that he's on to the end, because he would lose more places than he would probably gain back if he pitted. Hive is in. He made the wrong call.
Lethal Strike's going to have that traffic of the 2 McLarens to deal with now, however. So this could be JP's chance to catch up if they don't get out the way fast enough.
The McLarens will be ghosted for Lethal Strike, but it's still a bit of a moment for Lethal Strike at turn 11. Airways with a 56. It's all Senna with 3 seconds. He's got a 15-second gap, though, to Nels at this stage, so I don't think Senna's going to be worried too much at this stage unless Bert Mylander makes a late appearance, as Lethal Strike has now lapped both the McLarens. Gap 3.5.
Yeah, Blank's far behind JP now. JP's definitely got that tyre advantage. Five Eclipse did originally have that tyre advantage, but went on the wrong tyre, and yeah, that's really thrown him off, hasn't it?
Yeah. You had a point when you had your kind of off-sounding voice as JP does a 45.452 to take the fastest lap. He's reeling in Lethal Strike with 11 laps left. The McLaren of Simba stays out the way of JP on the exit of turn 1. We saw that in the back of shot. So now JP has no cars ahead of him between himself and the race leader, and it's only 2.4 seconds as we go into the second third of the lap. Sector 2, 2/3 of a way round.
Yeah, it's so easy to get those track limit penalties, especially in the S's section when it's wet, because I feel like that dry line, oh, it's appeared now, you go for try and take it more flat out every single lap, and then it gets to the point where one lap you just take it too flat out, and that's how you find yourself with a penalty.
All it takes is to go slightly over the racing line and get on the wet stuff, and your car slowly loses grip. But Hive now, since going back onto the intermediates after making that weird error of putting the full wets on, is now right underneath Drag Kings Williams as we head down the long straight towards turn 12. Gene Genie, usually Mr. Clean, has picked up 3 seconds. That's a rare sight, you'll see, as Hive has made the move. As Hive makes the move up into P6 past Drag King. So that's the Aston Martin. All but Drag King just behind has lost the rear end under traction. He's gone into the wall. That is quite a hefty bit of damage to the front wing. So that'll be Drag King making a trip to the pits for a new front wing and most likely a new set of inters to boot.
That's a VSC as well.
He's struggling for turning at the triple right-hander, but yeah, I believe that's brought out the virtual safety car because the track is all lit up yellow. Nels has pitted. Nels taking advantage of the virtual safety car to come in for a fresh set of intermediates. Ferrari go to work. Drag King's in for a new wing and tyres as well. But whilst we're under virtual, anyway, the gap is under a second. It's going to be race on whenever we go green between Lethal Strike and JP. But the ball is in JP's court because he has the fresher tyres than Lethal Strike.
That traffic as well, especially on the race restart, it's going to be not going to be as fast as he would regularly be.
Keep an eye on those deltas. Don't want to be going over the top of the deltas because you'll get a 10-second penalty if you don't watch your deltas. As Lethal Strike has that lapped Red Bull. As we're green flag racing, as JP laps the Red Bull as well, he's followed Lethal Strike through and he's already hooked underneath the Mercedes on the exit of the triple right-hander through 19. Lethal Strike had a moment on the exit of 19 and JP seethes past to take the lead before turn 20. So JP retakes the lead going on to lap 20 as Ross picks up another 3 seconds for track limits. Lethal having a look on the inside. Oh, that almost looked like it was going to be contact into turn 1, but neither car makes contact. But it is now JP in P1. Lethal Strike into second place. And with the grip advantage that JP has, I believe that gap will now open up through this section. He's gone purple in sector 1. And he's almost a second. He's now a second ahead of Lethal Strike as they are now in sector 2.
He's been incredibly fast on those fresh set of inters, even on the degraded inters, which he was on before in the last stint. He was so fast.
Oh, there was contact between the two cars, the 2-lap cars in front. I believe that was the Williams of Prix just hitting the rear of the Ferrari of Winky.
It's hard as a car that it's hard if you're lapping somebody and they make a mistake, because even if they are ghosted, just kind of your natural reaction is to flinch and do something about it. Whereas, you know, you've just got to be assertive and not move in this.
Zen pushing it correctly. Drive of a champion. That's what we're seeing from JP tonight. As he's now 2 seconds up the road from Lethal Strike, but we're watching the battle for 6th and 7th. Drifthawk in the Mercedes, Nels in the Ferrari. Drifthawk going already defensively, but I believe that was because he lost traction on the exit, as JP has now brought the fastest lap down to a 44.7, as Nels tries to make the move, stick round the outside of turn 12, which will then be the inside for 13. That is the Ferrari now ahead of the Mercedes, but Drifthawk doing a bit of drifting there through turn 13 and again through 15, trying to keep that rear end in check, those inters, as Hive now brings the fastest lap of 44.684. So yet again, JP and Hive trading fastest laps like they were doing earlier on. We've got 7 laps left here at COTA. We're on lap 21 of 28. Everybody has a gap of a second apart from those further back. We have Fire J and Ross within a battle that's less than a second, as the Haas is fighting for traction. Ty Clear is in on lap 21. So he'll be putting a fresh set of inters for this final stint. Ooh! Fire J wanting to go into the pits, and Ross almost got caught out from it. Drifthawk with 3 seconds.
He clears on the mediums. I'm not sure if he just used all of his compounds, or there is genuinely enough of a dry line to the point where he can.
I believe Ty Clear is this. Oh, he's got 3 seconds from that. I believe Ty Clear has taken a gamble. Whether it'll pay off is another story. It all blanks in from P3. Let's see what the Racing Bull goes on to. Fresh set of inters for the Racing Bull from 3rd place. That promotes Senna up into 3rd. So Blank will be going to the end now on these brand new intermediates. Winky picks up 3 seconds. But all Blank's got to do now is close that gap down to Senna. He's got 14 seconds. But Senna is carrying that 3 seconds as Airways picks up 3 seconds now. We'll drop down to the battle for 16th and 17th. Triz within a second of Winky. Ferrari versus Williams. Fire J holding on to the last point scoring position in 15th. And it looks to be like the Alpine will hold on to that as Fire J gets 3 seconds though. So it's all level pegging now towards the tail end of the grid as we have full safety car. I've just noticed that. What's brought that out?
Yeah.
Ross is missing a front wing.
Oh yeah.
The Haas of Ross is missing the front wing, which has brought out a full safety car.
I don't know what he's done there because he wasn't near any other drivers, so he can't have been in a battle.
We're in for some late drama here at COTA, as we're following JP as he hits his box. What tyre is he going on? He's going for softs. JP's going for softs.
I think that's quite a gamble, but
Lethal Strike going for mediums. It looks to be drying up.
He's fast enough, even if it's...
The rain has stopped. The rain has stopped and the track is drying up. So maybe the dry tyres now are the call, but the track will be a lot cooler with the amount of rain we've had throughout this race. We've had 22, 23 laps of consistent rain. But now we're going to be having a shootout at the end of this one in the full dry. Genie picking up 3 seconds. As now we bunch up behind the safety car, we have a Red Bull that looks to be out of position. I believe that is Brindle in 16th. That is between 2nd and 3rd place. Yes, it is. It's the Red Bull of Brindle between the race leader and 2nd. Hive has picked up 3 seconds. That's going to hurt him towards the end of this one, because with the field so spread out, how many laps is this safety car going to be brought out? It's going to be stayed out. We're on lap 22 of 28. If you've got penalties, this is the worst case scenario you could have wanted. And all those that haven't got a penalty have suddenly had the biggest grins on their faces, because they know they can pick places up from people with penalties. I mean, you got Stube in P10 that's got Drag King, Airways and Drift Talk with penalties ahead of him, as well as Hive and Senna. So depending on how this restart goes, Stube could gain big time. But
Nels is in quite a good place as well, actually.
Yeah, Nels, yeah.
Quite far down.
He's in P6 and he's got always blanks in from 3rd.
In the same place where he qualified, but he's managed to keep it exactly where he is. So yeah.
So yeah, we're now on to lap 24 of 28. 5 racing laps left here in COTA. Currently,
fancy some COTA facts?
I'll appetite people. First race here was in 2012 on the 18th of November, so the US Grand Prix in COTA will be 23 years old come November. So if that doesn't make you feel old, what will? The very first race around here was won by Lewis Hamilton after Sebastian Vettel had a little confrontation with the back marker, which allowed Lewis Hamilton to slip through.
The fastest laps was set by Leclerc in 2019 of a 1:36.1. Very fast, very fast.
Yep. 20 corners, as we've been mentioning throughout this one. We have most of them left-handers, a total of 11 left-handers around COTA, and a total of 9 right-handers, so a left-handed majority. As we have now what can only be described as a bone-dry racetrack.
Who was it that went on the mediums earlier? Was it was it Ross or Ty?
It was Ty Clear that went for the early call for the dries. I mean, the longer this safety car stays out, the more it benefits JP, because he's on those soft tyres, whereas Lethal is on the mediums, so those soft tyres would not last as long as the mediums. They would burn up relatively quickly, but we're on lap 25 or 28, so the laps are slowly ticking down, which will be getting under Lethal Strike's skin a little bit, because he will want to get racing to be able to take the fight to JP on this restart. But the biggest problem that Lethal Strike has is the out of position Red Bull of Brindle, as you can see, between the Sauber and the Mercedes in the queue behind the safety car. And unfortunately, a double-edged sword for Lethal is the game isn't programmed to allow lapped cars through, so hopefully Lethal can clear that Red Bull as quickly as possible. I believe that Red Bull of Brindle is still on intermediate tyres as well.
Yeah, 14 lap old intermediate tyres and that, so he's going to be incredibly slow. And also, Lethal Strike on the mediums, whereas JP on the soft, so JP's going to get that heat into the tyres so much quicker. He's going to have that initial pace, which, considering there's only 3 laps left behind...
Safety car is in
this lap.
The lights are off on the safety car, and now JP will take control of this restart. We'll be going green flag racing onto 26 of 28. It's going to be a 3-lap sprint to finish tier.
It does feel like a long time before the safety car.
From the safety car came out to when it came in, it does feel like a long time.
And also, it says safety car in this lap very early round here.
Yeah, Genie again 3 seconds. That's going to hurt him. There's so many cars with penalties. As well. The Red Bull has gone but has had to fall back in place. JP will get the race underway again at the final corner. JP's gone, as Lethal already gets past the back marker, but he's got a second to make up already. And as you say, JP on the soft tyres, he can get those working a lot quicker than Lethal does on the mediums. But how quickly will those softs go off?
Yeah, he's been under safety car with those softs, so whilst there is going to be a little bit of tyre degradation, I think he will be fine to hold him off. But Lethal Strike is gaining on him slightly. He's reeling him in a bit. But yeah, we'll see what happens. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, we've got Ross in the pit. So many penalties further down as Red Car picks up 3 seconds now. He's joined the majority that are on penalties, but it's so easy to get penalties around COTA. There's so many places to do it, but we're going to stick with the battle for the win, because we've got 3 laps to go, 2 laps after this one.
Brindle opted to stay on the inters, which I think that was an interesting choice, really.
JP 3 seconds! Is that the race done? I think that's race done. DRS has been activated, a 40.0 for Lethal Strike. He doesn't even have to think about making a move. He can just sit there and play the boring card and say, he's got 3 seconds, I'm not going to risk it, I'm going to happily sit here for this lap and the next and take the win from under your nose.
this rate though, JP will still finish in second, which
Yep,
is a good load
JP.
of points. And even if
Yep.
he's already won the championship,
Yeah, as you say, JP will only fall to P2 afterwards. Drag King kicks up a 3 seconds as well. If you're picking up penalties at this stage, depending where you are, it can really damage you. And judging by it, we could be looking at Blank and Nels. Especially Blank could be possibly looking at a podium finish, as we have Lethal, even though he can see that JP has got 3 seconds to his name. He wants to take the race outright. He doesn't want JP to have the bragging rights of winning on track. He wants it. As Hive and Blank are having a fight further back, they're both on mediums. If
JP's
Blank...
going to need to push a bit more though, because at this current rate, he's only just out of the... Oh no, never mind, ignore me.
But either way, Blank is looking for a possible podium in third place if he keeps it neat and tidy on this final lap. All he's got to do is keep it clean for this last run, and Blank will be looking at a P3, who's currently set the fastest lap as well. Airways pits at the end of the penultimate lap. So does Redcar, which is by the rules. But Lethal Strike all over the diffuser at the Sauber through the S's. Those soft tyres are really struggling now. That's how quickly they go off. The mediums, so much better than the softs at this stage. Senna picks up another 3 seconds.
Wow. So many penalties.
Lethal Strike looks to the inside of turn 11. It's going to be a traction race at the final corner. He tucks back in. He'll have DRS. He has DRS in JP. He pulls to the outside. Oh, bit of wheel banging on the way through. But Lethal Strike takes the position. JP with a bit of a late braking move into turn 12. He's not giving this one up. Lethal Strike goes for the undercut, but nearly gets his wing chopped off. JP saying, I may have 3 seconds, but you're not having the winner. Oh, bit of contact at turn 15. Again, Lethal...
I would just not try to pass him, because he's only going to ruin his own race.
But he's gone through the inside of the triple left-hand, the triple right-hander. He's gone through, but JP, there's contact still. There's still wheel banging into the final corner. But it's Lethal Strike. JP keeps second. Blank gets second. Nels third. JP drops to fourth. Dramatic scenes in that final lap.
And obviously he's really thrown everything off there.
Got to wait for the cars to filter through to get the final order with all these penalties. But Fire J finishes in 11th. Airways will come home in 12th. Then it'll be Genie in 13th. Just got to wait for a few of the drivers to filter through. Genie going a bit wide out of turn 19. He's now through turn 20. He now sees the flag. Next one will be a red car, who I believe has let Ross through. So Ross will take 14th. Red car taking his sweet time. Doing a bit of lawn mowing between 19 and 20, taking his sweet time to get to the flag.
It's a fast lawnmower.
An expensive lawnmower, but Red car finally gets to the line. That got really dicey in those closing stages between Lethal and JP, but JP finishes fourth. But no matter which way you look at it, JP is your Tier 3 champion despite finishing fourth. But Lethal Strike took pole position and he wins it on the last lap, with Blank and Nels benefiting from the penalties ahead of them to take what is a dramatic second and third.
Wow, that is a very...
But yeah, Lethal Strike gets the race win. Fastest lap was Hive. Airways gets the in-game driver of the day and most overtakes. And also Lethal Strike gets the award for the cleanest driver. As we go into the provisional results, Lethal Strike wins, then it's Blank, Nels, JP, Hive, then Senna, Stoob, Drag King, Ty Clear, Drifthawk, Fire J, Airways, Genie, Ross, then Redcar, then Simba, then Triz, Smith, Winky, Brindle at the very back. That is your provisional 20 at the end of Tier 3 here in COTA. But congratulations to Lethal Strike winning on a dramatic final lap. But big congratulations to your Tier 3 champion, Kick She Loves JP. Congratulations to you on your championship deciding race tonight. More than likely see you in Tier 2 next season. But congratulations to you.
I'd expect to see Senna in Tier 3 next season. He was absolutely
Judging by that, yeah, I believe we'll probably see Senna in Tier 3 next season. Driver of the day,
I'm gonna have to give mine to Nels personally. He stayed in his lane. I don't remember.
No, I don't think Nels got any penalties, and neither did. But yeah, Nels didn't. But I'm torn between Nels and the race winner Lethal Strike, because Lethal Strike at one point looked like wasn't going to get the race win. Then that late safety car came out. He went mediums, whereas JP went softs. And obviously JP picked up that 3 seconds, which pretty much cost him the race win. But yeah, I'll probably go with you and say Nels for driver of the day, but it's very close.
How about you give it to Lethal and I'll give mine to Nels, because
yeah, we'll split it. We'll split it between them then. So Nels and Lethal Strike get a share of the driver of the day awards. So that is Tier 3 done and dusted for round 9. There's only one to go next week at Imola. You've got one more race tonight to come at COTA, and that is Tier 4. But sadly for all of you, there will be no Lego Man racing.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah, stay tuned for Tier 4 to go live at 9:15. Your commentators will be Mr. Chris Bailey and Kaiser Soze. They will be your commentators for Tier 4 when that gets underway. So from myself and Morgan, it is good night from Tier 3.